So, what is it? Why is it unfun to be a musician? Well, I think it's a number of things. I think there's a parasocial aspect to it, and then there's the actual craft of being a musician, right? Like, so let's like the parasocial aspect of it is you're so like there's no way to be a musician without having a god complex, because it's a situation where you're by virtue of you being you and expressing yourself, you're elevated above other people. Like literally, just like literally elevated. Like if you're on stage performing and looking out and all those people and they came for you, it's a situation where you feel like you're in like this ultimate control state. And that goes to a lot of people's head. When your ego gets inflated, there's a point where it's eventually going to pop. It's going to be this gradual sort of evolution where you're like, all right, hey, I'm doing kind of cool. I'm kind of, and you're like, oh fuck, I'm him. I'm really locking in. And then it becomes like, all right, you become Kanye, I am a god. And then eventually you realize you're just a human being. And it's like all of these people watching you, it makes you feel like a spectacle, probably a little bit of a nutcase, like the Justin Bieber situation. I imagine that's how he feels. I think that maybe he feels like a crazy person in a box, just sort of being watched by the rest of the world. And like, I don't know for sure, but just think about what it means to have all of these eyes on you. Like even if you just had 5,000 subscribers, that's 5,000 people watching your every move, seeing your thoughts, peering into your life. And I mean, granted, it's what you share with them, but being a musician, you kind of have to be okay with being vulnerable. You kind of have to be okay with being in the spotlight of like, all right, well, I'm the center of attention. It's me doing this. And that's for a lot of people, I don't know, they can't handle it. And then there's also the creativity aspect of it. This situation where people musicians make it and then they stop making music, right? It happens all the time. Like rappers will rap a shit ton before they make it, and then when they get there, it's like, all right, I have nothing to say. I have no that creativity. Like creativity is the edge of insanity, right? And I say that to say that you don't know where it comes from. So why are people insane? Why are people creative? Where does it come from? What is talent? What are any of these things except for labels for ideas we can't understand? Like if you're playing piano, where are your ideas coming from? And so when you are relying on that for a source of money and like monetary benefit, like that is your livelihood, it's gonna be a situation where you're so fucking locked in some days, and then other days it's just like you got nothing. And when you got nothing, now it's like, oh, can I eat? Can I live? You know what I'm saying? So if you have that for months and months and months and months, this is why people have ghostwriters. This is why the industry is really a collaborative sport. When you get into music, once you make it, you get a team, you get writers, you get all this bullshit, and people will hate on that for years to come. But I will say, like you gotta be honest. Like artists are human beings. They're not gonna have the best ideas all the time and be these perfect entities. Even the best artists use ghostwriters sometimes. And that's to say that like it's not, you have to spare some sort of empathy when you're constantly in the spotlight like that. That's a huge amount of pressure to just throw on somebody, to just be like, all right, well, you got it, bro. I don't think that anyone on earth is ready to be catapulted into fame. Anyone, especially when it's happening nowadays, like it is not gradual. When people blow up, it is like the next day suddenly you go from not mattering and then you matter now. What? I don't even know how to process. If you really think about the nature of being a human, how many friends do you need? probably at maximum like 3 or 4. So when you got these artists talking about, okay, they're all my friends, you're friends with millions of people, that's like, I, and even in the sense of like managing your like, and I'll say it like this. I don't think that, I think it's more, it's obviously a nuanced subject. Whether or not making music itself is fun, making music is a blast. It's everything. It's literally everything. But like, to turn it into a profession, to make your hobby your profession, I think this happens with so many creative professions. It turns into this monotonous slog of like, okay, I am my product. I am my image. I am my, like, and it's like you aren't, there's like not this degree of separation between your life and your job that you want to have. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was going to be anonymous, because it's like if you don't have that sort of degree of separation, it's going to drive you mad, because you don't, there's so many layers to like how you're perceived, and it's like, are you you, or are you artist, or are you product, or are there different modes that you have to like lock into? And then when people see you on the street, they're not seeing you the human being, they're seeing you the product. So it's like, and you have to tap into that, and you have to be that all the time. You can't just be you anymore. And it's like that with content creation, and really a lot of artistic, anything that has that sort of parasocial component. But there's also the layer of criticism and how you handle it. I think that if you're going to be an artist, your ego has to not be existent, or you have to have a very solid, like, you have to be able to protect it. You have to have it so protected that whatever people say about you, because you can't be like Drake. You can't get a bad review and then go fucking DM them and be like, all right, this is what's up. That's how people look at you, like you're corny and all that, because you're not like authentically standing by your art. You're not authentically standing by your art. You have to be like, all right, okay, if I made this thing that was sort of mid, I made it mid because I liked it like that. You know what I mean? And your concept of mid is sort of irrelevant to the creation process of my journey. If you didn't want to listen to that, you necessarily didn't even have to. I made it for myself. That's the sort of mindset that you have to have, and whoever likes it is going to like it. But I feel like a lot of these artists are so locked into the limelight, and like, they have to make the money, and they have to make it like, they have to seem invincible and like they can't lose, or or something like that, and they have to maintain this sort of ire of voice, you know what I mean, in the public eye. And I feel like there are artists who just tweak and they don't care about that. And I but like most artists, it seems like they are very protective of their image. They don't want anything to get out that they don't think is like, you know, so I don't know. It's a lot to protect. It's a lot to care about. It's a lot to think about. And I feel like that thing that can weigh on you and fuck you up. And that's how a lot of these people end up, um, unfortunately, in situations that they probably would not have ever saw themselves in. But then it's also like, is the day to day vibe of being a musician fun? Like battling with your creativity and not knowing if you're going to make something good today, or not knowing if you're going to necessarily be able to make anything today. And I think it's a interesting slippery slope where you have to just sort of be okay in the process doing whatever you're doing. So if I start to freestyle right now and then my head goes wild and we're lost in the background and I tore it for 8 miles and I killed him with my smile, it's like that sort of shit. If I wasn't able to do that, or if I wasn't just sort of comfortable being me and having fun with it, then I would be thinking, oh, well, that freestyle was ass. And it's like those sort of thoughts will permeate you into your mind and destroy you from the inside out. And it's like, I don't know. Once you start getting commercial validation for your art, I think this becomes less of a problem. But for the young up and coming artists, they are very protective. I'll just say because we are very protective of the idea of the quality of our art, right? We want to maintain, okay, am I good? Am I making progress? Because if not, what? You're gonna fail and you're gonna become a statistic. You're gonna become that artist that never, like, made it. And That's everybody's greatest fear. I don't care what you embarrassing yourself on stage. Who cares? Getting booed off stage, like to not make it and to have to go back to your day job after setting out and making all these videos and showing yourself up online and like imagine you're 500 posts deep and you just for whatever reason it just doesn't cut out. Like you quit. It's like that was a lot of work. That was a lot of effort. That was a lot of like energy that you put in like years of your life. And then and creating is not easy on the soul. It's a very vulnerable like I am giving you everything right now. And that's sort of like that's why I think that that lack of separation kills so many people, right? Because if you're constantly giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, you're bound to give something crazy. Firstly, I don't think humans are should be under a microscope 24/7. Like I don't think that's why I really respect the artists who kind of lay back and do their own thing, like for real, like the Bo Burnhams, the Frank Oceans, the like the opposite of Kanye. Whatever Kanye is doing, go the other direction because like constantly having yourself in the spotlight like that is just it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I say all this to say, I mean, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from being an artist or lessen the competition for me. It's just some thoughts that I had that I've been having about like the nature of what I'm trying to do and the nature of what it means to sort of let go of my personhood because as you can, if you've been on my account, you know I make music and you know I'm trying to be an artist. And that's a slippery slope to being like crazy, you know? There are so many people with mental health issues and like personality disorders in the creative scene that have and then are being exploited and managed by people who are crazier and more personality disorders than them. So it's like you got to really know what you're getting into before you get into it. And that's yeah, no, that's really all I'm trying to say at the end of the day. That's the video. I don't think I'm pretty sure I might do more of these. I want to get more involved in like interacting with the people on my channel. All 30 of us just chilling here listening to my music. So I really get used to seeing more of my face and seeing more of what I have to think and what I have to believe. And yeah. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. And whoever's watching this, I love you. Bye.